So I'm holding in my hand a copy of a book called Age of Opportunity. This book represents several things in my life. It was the very first book that I wrote. It came out in 1997.
I was in college then.
It's an example to me of the fact that no one has greater zeal for the use of our gifts than the giver. I wasn't a writer. And
You had never written anything before
No.
this, like articles or anything?
well, I had
Like
done
small stuff? Yeah.
and I had written a dissertation, but
But not anything
No.
close to a book.
and I had counseled a teenager, and his dad was a published professor at Westminster Seminary, and he said, what you did with my son, you ought to put down on paper, and I'll help you get published. And so I went about writing Age of Opportunity, titled that because I thought we culturally speak so negatively about the teen years, but the teen years are also times of unprecedented opportunity
Yeah.
because of as the child has more responsibility and a wider geographical place where they live and wider relationships, what gets revealed is the heart.
Yep.
And that's a real opportunity. When I got the manuscript back from the editor, it was a paper manuscript in those days, and she had marked it up with a red pen. It looked like a bad transfusion. It was bleeding red, and I was so discouraged.
Yeah.
And she said to me, "It's really good content. I'll teach you how to write." And
Was she a part of the publishing company then?
she was actually at CCEF.
Okay.
And I realized as she sat down with me and talked that the great difference between spoken communication and written communication. Spoken communication, you have the tone of your voice, the look of your face, your
Right.
gestures, so many other things to depend on. And in writing, the words have to bear the freight. And so she taught me how to write. And it was such a picture for me how God gives you gifts, but he doesn't walk away. He works to stir up and to develop those gifts that are inside you, and he never stops doing that because he loves his glory, he loves his kingdom, he loves his church, and he wants those gifts to be used for those purposes. Really, the writing of Age of Opportunity was a massive change in my life.
It was the
And
beginning of what,
it was-
30 books?
Yeah, I just turned in my 32nd book.
Wow.
And I had no idea whatsoever that this would ever be what I did with my life. But God knew that and put just the right person in my life at just the right time, because after getting that manuscript, I was going to do two things. I was going to burn it and then jump out of a window.
And you did neither of those things.
Now, this is what's
So it's been reprinted twice,
cool
right?
about this. I think there's been three
Three, okay.
renditions. This is
the
but
newest.
this one is brand new, and what's cool about this is it's a revised and expanded edition that talks about many of the current issues that were just not afloat
Yep.
when the book was originally written. And that sort of continues the story that God continues not only to stir up your gifts, but continues to impart wisdom and understanding to you because he loves his people. I always think that anything I put down in a book that is sort of a new way of thinking about the gospel or a helpful application of the gospel has nothing to do with me. God doesn't do that because he wants Paul Tripp to be loved. He does that because he wants Jesus to be loved. He does it because he loves his people, and I'm just a tool of the expression of his love. So I'm excited about this. I want to say, if you're a parent, this book is out. If you're a parent of a teenager, this book is here. If you have young children, read this now because they won't be young long. It happens fast. It's impossible for me to believe that I'm a father of a 45-year-old man. but I am. And so.
And this is brand new as of this year. This is.
Yeah, that's just brand new out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is highlighting for me because my daughter is 11 and we're approaching the age of opportunity, which I will call from here on out. Many people would not call that the
Because
age
I
of opportunity.
love you, I will give you one of these
Oh,
books.
thank you. That's very sweet of you.
Yeah, and
That's
your
kind.
wife will read it to you.